Experience the power of 5G with T-Mobile. With faster 5G speeds nationwide, you can upload your favorite videos super fast or game on the go. Plus, T-Mobile has more 5G bars in more places, so you can stay connected to what matters most from almost anywhere. Switch to T-Mobile today, the leader in 5G.
T-Mobile has America's largest 5G network, fastest based on median overall combined 5G speeds, according to analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data. 5G speeds for Q4 2021. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Looking for a way to reach your financial goals faster? With Fidelity Spire, you can set savings goals, start investing, and more, all with one free app. Get started at fidelity.com/spire. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. The Fidelity Spire app is free to download. Accounts made available via the app may be subject to fees. Fidelity Brokerage Services member, NYSE, SIPC.
Hey, Eric. It's me, Saul, calling you back. I feel like I didn't record enough greetings for the Patreon, so here we go. I'll record a few here. Hi, folks. This is Saul Quisha, better known as Blind Saul, and you're listening to Eric Zane Show Patreon podcast. Can't get enough of Eric Zane? Well, here's the Patreon podcast. This is Blind Saul. Thanks for listening.
I mean, yeah.
Hi, folks. This is Blind Saul, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show Patreon podcast.
But yeah.
Congratulations. You've gotten behind the paywall. This is the Eric Zane Show podcast.
And then, yeah.
Howdy, folks. This is Saul Grisham, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show Patreon bonus podcast.
I mean, yeah.
Want even more shenanigans that you didn't get on the free podcast? Well, you've come to the right place. This is Blind Saul, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show Patreon podcast. Hope these work. Bye.
But yeah. So, and then, yeah.
Hi, Eric. It's me, Saul. And, I'm recording more greetings for you.
I mean,
Hi, folks.
yeah.
This is Saul Quisha, better known as Blind Saul, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Hi, folks. This is Blind Saul, and you're listening to Mr. 10, Eric Zane, on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Good morning, Blind Saul here. This is the Eric Zane Show podcast, where he talks about news, nonsense, and life's adventures. Congratulations, you've made it behind the paywall. This is the Eric Zane Show Patreon podcast. Hi, folks. This is Blind Saul, and you're listening to Are You Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia with my friend Throat/Dale. Good luck. Bye.
Hold out, loser.
You just look out the window the whole time?
Yeah, I guess. If you do it right, it takes all day.
But what do you actually look at?
That guy and wherever that thing is and the lady.
And that's entertaining?
No, but also yes.
Yes, hello. Sean Gotti with you once again from Raleigh, North Carolina. And you know what? There's a million other things I'd rather be doing right now. But here I am, listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast. So without further ado, here he is, the one, the only, thank God, Eric Zane.
That's Sean's band playing in the background. Pretty good, pretty good. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and as that sounded terrible. News, nonsense, and as Saul says, life's adventures. Not bad. Featured Saul's voice handiwork on the Patreon yesterday. I figured I'd drop it in here too, because it's just so fun. I mean, hey Eric, I figured I'd drop in some voice work for you.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like, hey, Eric. But that's kind of like my interpretation of it.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. So, yeah. That sounded like Ben there.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric.
Hi.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. The one and only Saul. This show happens each and every weekday from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio, smack dab in the middle of Hudsonville, Michigan. Me, oh my. Holy moly. So it dawned on me yesterday when I was in this room that why are my eyes burning? And why does it smell like some type of chemical substance? And then it dawned on me it was bleach. And, this room it's like a sieve. If it's over 60 degrees outside, it's hot as hell. If it's under 60 degrees, it's cold as shit. And apparently, if you're scrubbing the floor downstairs, the fumes fill this room. What? Yeah, that's actually a thing, apparently, because it dawned on me in the middle of the day. I'm like, why? By the way, why are my eyes burning? And the room is filled with fucking fumes. So that ended. I come in here today, and it's the same thing. They're still here. So the heat will get in and stay in and won't leave. The cold will come in and stay in and not leave. And toxic fumes will apparently enter this room, stay here, and not leave. So this show right now, the window is open, and that's not a good thing because the hallelujahs are getting ready to start the day. And that's my sweet neighbors who hear me swear all the time, where there was a blasphemous moment, probably the most blasphemous moment they have ever heard in their life that took place. So they and I'll tell you about that in a second. I've told this story before, and I don't know what came over me because, frankly, I love baby Jesus. And I believe in God and heaven and Jesus and sin and forgiveness and good and bad and evil. I believe in all those things. It makes me upset when people don't. Like the other day on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, Ben was saying, we don't have souls. Souls, which, it's like, come on, man, you're killing me here. But the hallelujahs, they're just so much better than I am. They're very consistent. I'm not. There was one moment years ago. We've lived here for many years. I was helping my son. I remember I was in the passenger front seat of his car, and he was standing off to the side. And I don't know what the hell we were doing. We were rummaging through the glove box. And our pal Jeff, who works over at Strider's, had given Jim a gift. And it was some religious book by some religious author. And this is terrible, okay? So try not to be too offended by this. This is the paradox of Eric Zane, who on TV will talk that he heard a voice telling him to give away his kidney. And then in other moments, but which happened before, this other moment, it happened way in the past. I probably wouldn't say this now. In fact, I know I wouldn't say this now. I'm very moldable. I'm like clay. I think I think there's something in the Bible about clay. I'm the clay. I have no idea if it's in the Bible or not. I just said that. It sounded good. So I'm rummaging through his... No, I know what it was. I was like, he was very young. Jim was probably a young driver, 17, 18. I go, yeah, you got to keep this in your glove box. This is right after He started being a dad. And so I'm putting the registration and the insurance in there. And there's this book that our pal Jeff from Striders gave him, religious book. And I go, here, get this Jesus shit out of here. Now, that's the quote. I'm not saying that now. So, God, don't strike me down. And I give him the book. And then in the driveway, and you know what? It just dawned on me. I'm saying that with the window open. They're probably outside. I'm probably reliving the moment right now. My neighbor was right there in the driveway, and him and his wife or the kids, and they both turn and look at me. I'm like, oh, no. Those are words that should not ever be together. Jesus and shit. And there I am dropping it in my driveway. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my God. This sweet, sweet man is a principal of a Christian school. Seems like everywhere I've lived next to principals of Christian schools. Because when I lived in Jenison, my neighbor across the street, oops, hang on. I got to bang the Zenith. It's going to get loud. I didn't even kick it. It just does it. When I lived in Jenison, my neighbor across the street was principal of a Christian school, world famous Covenant Christian, which I still have a hoodie. One of the kids came over and left it or something like that. And so suddenly I'm wearing it. And he's like, where'd you get that? Oh. And I could tell he didn't want me to wear the damn thing. He was afraid that I was going to get like struck down. So when I'm wearing a Covenant Christian hoodie, he's like, oh, God, please. There was another story. Oh, I forget who it was. No, it was associated with Jeff from Striders, who I was supposed to like MC a race at Covenant Christian. And my neighbor Rick was like, yeah, I don't want him. I don't want him there. And I'm like, Rick, what are you talking about? And I love the guy. I go, I love you. He goes, you and I don't line up, Eric. We're not the same. And I'm, you're judging me. You're killing me. Come on now. I'm the one. I'm the moldable one. I'm the clay thing that might be in the Bible. I don't know if it is or not. You know? No. Well, that's BS. Moved to this amazing house in Hudsonville, and the house next to me sells. And then my neighbor moves in. Same thing. Runs a Christian school. These poor people. It's like God is saying maybe if we surround him with people close to the cloth, maybe something will rub off on him. Perhaps he will see the light. So the moment when I'm in the glove box of my son's car and I'm referring to a religious book as, here, throw this Jesus shit away, was my actual quote. I swear to God. It pains me to say that now. It really does. I don't like that I said that, but fuck, is that funny? It's all right. Jesus loves me. He forgives me when I ask him for forgiveness. When I go to see the priest and ask for forgiveness, which I know is very foreign to a lot of you. I'll tell you this. I may struggle, but there is no one who owns it more than me. Okay? Now, after I'm forgiven by my priest, Jesus powers, I then will probably drop an MF in the parking lot. So it's kind of like I should just live there. I should have a house in the parking lot so that I can just make trips back and forth. You know, that's why they have confession so close to the first weekend mass, the Saturday vigil, so that you can do it the confession and then immediately go to Mass and take communion before you screw it up again. But the long and the short of it is, the interesting thing is that every single member of the parish should spend time in the confessional before Mass, because we're all just disasters. We all do this. There is none of us have the ability to live sin-free. Well, some of us maybe, like my neighbors. You know, I think that they are pretty much really on the A team. I mean, they are. You remember, like in the Olympics for basketball, when they allowed the pros to play, and they took all the great players for the first time, Hakeem and Jordan and Bird and Magic, not Isaiah, of course. That's what my neighbor is. He is on that team, along with my neighbor from the last residence. I'm like, the water boy, barely. I'm barely on the practice squad, but that's okay in my mind. Welcome into this show. I'm so glad you are here. I went on that because my eyes, the window is open and it reminded me. The ADHD is strong today. The eyes are not burning because the air is being recycled and shut out and new air coming in. So that is awesome. The resurrection of the NFK's feet is on my mind. And I am, there's a lot of things to be proud of. We all have things that we are very, very proud of. But one thing that, by the grace of God, God has given me, it's a very religious show today, the ability to just basically say, you know what? Someone needs to take care of my brother-in-law, and I am just the one to do it. It's absolutely perfect. You're here all the time. You go and you help him with his hygiene. And so that I'm, you can call me whatever you want, blasphemous, idiot, yeah, but this man is in good health now, or as good a health as he possibly can be. And I revealed to you that it dawned on me that reason why he went so long without taking showers, it wasn't because he didn't like taking showers. It's because he is ashamed and cannot take showers. His body won't let him do that. He's broken. He needs help. So, okay. And then you remember I talked to you about how we went to the foot doctor, and they go, all right, your feet are a disaster. I described them as looking like a fish, like he held a hand grenade with his feet, and it blew up, and horrible. Foot doc says, okay, you got to wash your feet, and you got to put this medicine on. Well, that's not going to happen. Upon me starting to bathe him after the surgery, which he's totally recovered now, obviously I still have to do this. And he actually, this is the way it has to be. So gets out of the shower. And here's the thing. When it comes to the washing of the asshole, not only do I take the loofah and jam it between his crack and go underneath, but when it comes to rinsing, I will take one hand and open his ass crack wide, okay? And just, because the guy gets the soap out of there. This has to be done. This is how you care for a person who cannot care for themselves. This is the lunch pail mentality when it comes to care. I'm like, no, bullshit. We're washing that asshole. If I needed to eat your ass, it would be okay right now. All right? Get him out of there. Dry him off. Even the drying, I even go around the nuts and in between all the fun spots where the skin touches. You got to make sure it's dry. Belly button, you name it. I do it all. And then it's the feet, man. His feet. I am so proud of his feet. They have been resurrected, and I've been putting this medicine on them and trimming his nails. And it's the supplest little club feet you will ever see. Now, he's a ward, and all wards have horrible-looking feet. I've admitted this recently on the show, that I'm into feet, but not their feet. because the wards have the worst feet I've ever seen in my life. They're about this long. Each foot is about 3 inches, okay? And there's no arch. It looks like, if you were to make a Lego person and make feet, the Lego feet would have more resemblance to an actual anatomical human foot than their feet. And they're just the ugliest feet you'll ever see. But this one is healthy. His feet are actually healthier than his sister's. And I said to her, I go, hey, when the NFK starts walking around here with his socks off in the summertime, you will be amazed at what they look like now. We are in an amazing spot for foot health. And it's gotten to be so good now that I think that the finishing touches need to be like a petty. We need to take them to the place in town here where they get the final bit of skin callus off and just make them as pretty as an arthritic foot can be. Now, you need to know that this is serious shit, because before I started caring for the foot and putting his foot medicine on and the lotions and trimming his nails and shit like that, the heel of the foot was so distorted with callus that is a little gross. The skin had like split, okay? It had and was like a wound. It was an actual wound. And that's no joke, man. If that fucking thing gets infected, he could get sepsis with no care, because it wasn't like being treated in any way. I was like, holy shit, you got a split here in your heel. I mean, it was like someone took a meat cleaver on his heel and would, and I was like, motherfucker. I go, Kevin, we got to take care of this thing here. So now, man, it is clean as a whistle, healthy as can be. Yes, they're all curled up like the gnarly-ass Ward foot always looks, but we're getting there. And I'm proud of that. I am proud of that. I take real pride. They have pride, Daddy, in this man's health. And it's like a big kind of like robust feeling of, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to take care of you. Now we're starting. Okay, next week we visit the doc for the last trip, and he's getting an X-ray. And this is the surgeon. This is the big one. As we are over 2 months since the rebuilding of the neck. But, man, he doesn't even really need an ice pack anymore. So things are looking up. This is great, great news. And again, like I described to you, when I'm putting the medicine on his foot, he was like, fuck shit. Fucking, I can feel that. I'm like, because he could not feel it. And imagine your foot, there's no sensation in your feet or your legs up to your knee. That's why he walks like a penguin and Frankenstein had a baby. All right. So that's the good news. There's a lot of good news today. Little victory yesterday at the YMCA. One of my favorite places, one of my happy places to be is the YMCA, which, boy, we have an entirely new population of people there. It's like the pandemic. It's like we had a certain group that went there, and then 2 years later, it's a totally new group. Other than Team Knuckle Dragger, it's an entirely new group of people. And I ran into a guy that I've known forever last week, and I used to swim with him. Used to do like triathlons with him. We'd get in the pool at the same time. We'd train, and really, really nice guy. So nice, and I did so much with him that I could not remember his fucking name. Of course. And so last week I'm talking to him, and I'm not hearing a word he says, because he walks up to me. He says, "Hey, Eric." And I go, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, dude. Hey, what's up, guy?" Oh, Chief. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah. Cool, dude. Right on, man. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah? Cool, man. Yeah. Wow, really? Your wife is? Oh, okay. Kid's good? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm like, this is all the while I'm panicking. See you later, Eric. Yeah, man, later. Good to see you. I'll see you later. And then, like, I'm talking to other people in the gym that I know, and I'm like, hey, that guy over there, do you know his name? No. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So then I am not kidding you. I went through every letter in the alphabet, and I went A, Aaron, Al, Alec, B, Bob, Brett, and seeing if something feels right, And I went all the way through, and then I did it again. It took me several minutes, and I'm like hating my life. I don't know. Seriously, this has followed me everywhere, and it's so frustrating. It always is such a good feeling when I do remember someone's name. But in this case, it's gone. Yesterday, around the corner, there he is. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to happen again. And it did. Same scenario. Later on, it dawns on me that what my plan is, because I know he was in like a Facebook group for swimmers. And my plan was to ask him, what is that Facebook group for swimmers you're in? And then he's going to say why. I'll say, just see if I can see the old faces. Just make up any story. And then my plan is, I'm then going to go to it, and because this guy's a friend of mine on Facebook. You'd think I'd just do that, but I don't even know where to fucking begin. And if I see his face, hey, he follows it too, then I'll figure out who it is. But when I walk up to him to start that conversation, a light goes off. Matt. And so I ask the question about the group. I go, hey, Matt. It was remarkable. It actually somehow just came to me. It's like my mind has a mind of its own, and it just likes to screw with me. It's like, okay, let's let him off the hook. Let's tell him. So I go, hey, Matt. And I'm like, I'm having a conversation with my brain. Oh, you told me. And he's like, what, huh? And I'm like, yeah, there's a Facebook group swimming over at Jennison. He goes, oh, yeah. Well, they're not really a group. And he starts to go into detail, and I don't care anymore because I now have his name. So I'm like, Matt. I'm like, I'm saying it now. I'm overcompensating. So I'm like, oh, yeah, Matt? Oh, wow, Matt. Oh, no kidding, Matt? Matt, that's cool, Matt. And, and he's probably thinking I'm crazy. My God. If he's watching, they're listening to this or watching this, which I doubt. I mean, who is? Fuck. I am the worst. It is so bad. Oh. I just cannot get out of my own way when it comes to this. All right. Yesterday, good news at the mailbox. A $2,000 check from Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I'm still owed $400. Maybe that'll come. I don't know. I guess it depends because the motorhome is insured. I should get that money back. But as you know, the state has billions of dollars left over from some fund. And in an effort to get reelected, the governor is brilliantly giving all of us $400 per vehicle. Now, those who are, some people might, hell, the Republicans that are enjoying this show are like, well, that's exactly what she did. And the Democrats are like, well, you don't know that. Well, yes, I do. Come on now. It's obvious. That's exactly what the plan is. And that is a great plan. That is an exceptional plan. Pay me money. So I am here to once again double down that we must all vote for Gretchen Whitmer because she's giving you all money. In addition, who cares about everything else? At this point of the game, it doesn't matter. Now, if you have received your money, and you are not voting for her, you need to give it to me or someone who is a Democrat. You are not allowed to spend that money. That is a little-known law that has been enacted about this refund. You are not entitled to it. You must bend the knee to Gretchen Whitmer, and I have. She has successfully bought off me with the, well, I was going to vote for her anyway. So now that could change. And there's particular ways, I have details about how that could change. If any one of the candidates that are running against her gives me personally the same amount of money plus $1 more, I will officially then endorse you on this show. Everybody has a price. That is the nice, tangible one that I am setting for my support. So if you buy me off, I will then throw my support to you. And that includes Donna Let's Go Brandenburg. I will then become a Republican if she buys me off. And you might say, Eric Zane, that is very shallow of you. Yes, it is. Absolutely. So that's where I stand. It is purely dollars and cents. Congratulations to Governor Whitmer for buying all of those votes. And also for all of you Republicans who are not going to support her, you must give your money back to me or anyone else that supports Governor Whitmer going forward. So you will have the money, but you have to sign the check over. Jim gets $400 for his car that he's been paying insurance on. Jackie gets $400 for her car that she's been paying on. I get the rest. Madison gets none. She does not pay for the insurance as a student. I take care of that. So does Diana. So we will spend that money on whatever we see fit. Probably Madison's education. What are you doing with your money? All right. So Donna, Let's Go Brandenburg. You too can get the support of the Eric Zane Show podcast with $2,001 or possibly $2,401. Keep you updated. All right. This show, each and every day, happens on Twitch, starting live at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Hit the follow button. Subscribe where it says sign up for free with Twitch Prime. Once you log into your Amazon account, it'll say link in the upper right-hand corner. You just, I don't know. You got to, it's a little not user-friendly. But if you figure it out, that's very good if you want to subscribe to the show. So it's follow and subscribe. I understand that bits went away. That's the rumor. I talked to Andy from Team Knuckle Dragger. He said, hey, they refunded me all the money I spent on bits. Bits are that type of online currency in Twitch, which I don't know. I guess you use it, and if someone makes you happy when you're watching a Twitch show, you can throw bits at them. I never really got behind it. If you did it, you did it. Thanks. But I think that went away. At least Andy said so. He said he got a note saying, hey, man, it said the bit program is out. Here's your money back. Okay. No big deal. Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. They also sponsor Facebook, facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. Follow me on all of my social media. Twitter, @Eric Zane Show, brought to you by Blue Frost IT. And then, of course, YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. And that is brought to you by Frank the Tank Fuss. My Policy Shop Insurance. All right. So the weather is stupid. Yesterday, it was like 65 degrees. And then the wind picked up, which means cold front. And it's going to be horrible for the next several days. Not nearly as bad as in like the southern portions of the United States were yesterday. And again today, there's like all sorts of like tornadoes blowing through. I saw one video of a car. A tornado was on the ground, and it blew the car over on its side, and then again blew it so it's completely upside down, wheels in the air, and then onto its other side, and then back onto its wheels. And then the guy took off driving. Incredible. All right. Deer Meathead tomorrow with Dad. That was just fantastic at his place for the live version of Deer Meathead. Very, very fun. Enjoyed that very much. If you have a question for Dad on Deer Meathead, please send it along on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. If you'd like to make $20 an hour from now till when the snow flies, whenever that happens in several months, if you'd like to make $20 an hour and work on your schedule, you need to reach out to Shoreliner Striping. My pal Tim Mayer, who's retiring in early April as a ref from the American Hockey League, wants to hire some seasonal employees. So what you do is you go to shorelinerstriping.com, and there's a phone number there. Reach out to them, and they will basically hire you. If they'll train you on everything you need to know on how to run the machinery for striping parking lots. You'll be working outside and not on your schedule. So if you want to do it part-time, you do it part-time. If you want to do it full-time, you can do it full-time. But $20 an hour, I'm not kidding you. From now till the fall, they go 12 hours. They go 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eric Zane Show math. 20 times 12 times 7. Okay. $1,680 a week times 26 weeks. That's a lot of money. $43,680. Now, that's assuming they're working 7 days a week. But if I know Tim, he's working 7 days a week. That is a lot of cheddar. You should consider reaching out and at least getting more details. Shorelinerstriping.com. There's a video that's viral right now, somewhere in California. And somebody decided to rent a Tesla and go to the steepest hill in the community and go as fast as possible and see how much big air they could get. I remember when I used to be on the radio, we did a bit. Where in town can you get big air? In West Michigan. And tons of people called in and said, oh, yeah, you go to this spot on this road and you can get big air. And then people were actually doing it while we're on the air, like hitting the jumps, doing this exact thing that I'm about to show you. And what's crazy about this is my pal Andy the Cripple, he earned that name because he did this. They got big air, and the car was a catastrophe, and I think somebody died, and Andy broke his neck. He's a quadriplegic from that day forward. Holy shit. So this is not recommended. It's a miracle that we did not get fired all those years ago for the shit that we pulled, because that is incredibly reckless. Okay, so let's get into this one. This Tesla in a community of Echo Park, Los Angeles, gets airborne. In theory.
Yeah, just like you both, I'm sure you were on your social media yesterday and you saw this viral video and you're like, how could someone even try to attempt this? And standing here atop this hill in Echo Park.
Look at how steep this is.
It's just crazy. Here's a street behind me here. This is Baxter Street, and look how steep
That's the ascent. So I'm glad the car is there. It gives you a good perspective of just how steep this is. It's got to be, I don't know, a 35-degree angle. It's ridiculous.
that is. This is known as one of the steepest hills, if not one of the steepest street in LA. The rented Tesla was going about 57 miles per hour when it launched into.
So now they're giving you the exact speed that you got to be at to do this. So I would say that 1 minute after the story aired, someone is doing this exact thing. Look at, there's another news crew there in the background. And as I understand it, it was all for social media.
To the air, people were filming at the same time right here on this spot, and then goes down this hill and crashes into two cars. It ended real badly. Take a look.
Badly? Look at this. Holy shit. Oh, my God. That is incredible.
So again, this is Baxter and Alvarado in Echo Park. It happened yesterday. That speeding test.
We have multiple camera angles from this.
And there's some filled with other people, and then driving off in in Echo Park. It happened around midnight yesterday.
Oh my God!
Launching 50 feet into the air before crashing into.
Look at.
Some trash cans into two parked cars. The driver then seen jumping into another Tesla filled with other people, and then driving off and abandoning.
So they rented the car, no plates, destroyed this car, got into another car, took off.
That car. We did speak to one of the residents whose car was smashed. His car was totaled as well. Take a listen.
And there's some guy on YouTube, getting a ton of fame and getting money from the videos and stuff, and it just seems like it kind of sets a bad precedent, leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, the person who calls himself Dominicus has been bragging about this stunt on social media. He was eating what appeared to be a cannabis gummy before the stunt, and he said on social media, LAPD didn't like my stunt.
Holy shit, did you see that?
Look, I'm famous. Himself, Dominicus, has been bragging about this stunt on social media. He was eating what appeared to be a cannabis gummy before the stunt.
I like how they make a big deal about that. Look at the stills of this.
And he said on social media, LAPD didn't like my stunt. Look, I'm famous. You better pay my bail. Meantime, LAPD Central Traffic Division also tweeted late last night, we are asking the public to no longer send us any more tips regarding this stunt. They've reached out to the driver on his social media account. We are asking any other witnesses to come forward. That driver could face a misdemeanor hit and run charge.
Look at that. My God.
Just a misdemeanor, Sandra and Tony, but a lot of people who live on the street say, look, someone could have gotten hurt. The driver himself could have gotten killed. A pedestrian could have gotten killed, and certainly the car could have smashed into a home. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, no question about it, Bobby D. Obviously something that's very dangerous and just wasteful.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Perfectly good car, right, like you said.
All for attention.
Right.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, fuck. Everybody is just killing these guys. Okay. Yes. Dangerous.
Free is our favorite
also
word.
awesome.
Like buy one, get.
No, we can't do that. We should not be doing stuff like that. But holy crap, was that awesome. Oh, God. Who hasn't wanted to do that at some time? I mean, if you think about it, this is a deterrent, in my opinion, because we've all lived vicariously through this guy now. We know what this is like. I think this was a public service that was offered to the community. We know that it's incredibly dangerous and it won't work out well. So no one will ever attempt this ever again. I believe that. No, I don't. My God. Everybody's going to do this now. If you live on this street, move, because you're going to die. Houses are gonna have cars go. You're gonna be if you sleep in the front of your house that faces the street, you're gonna want to move to the back immediately. Do not go into the front of the house ever, because at any given time, a frickin' car could come flying through. Jesus. Just got confirmation from one big dick Donnie Veltman that the Slam Man, Jay Moore, I'll be interviewing him. I'm going to record it on 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then I'll make it available. I love Jay Moore. He is in town Wednesday, Thursday, I don't know. Full House Comedy. Sorry, I'm distracted. Okay. So everybody is completely pissed and shocked at this awesomeness. But look, it was great. Yes, it was a bad thing. Yes, all of these people should move. Okay? Yes, all of these homes are going to be destroyed. Yes, this is against the law. But that was incredible. So it's a wash. Excuse me, I just burped badly. It sounded terrible. So, okay. I say that they should be given the key to the city. This is great. Okay, I'm on Patreon, and I would love to have you on there with me. Go to patreon.com/Eric Zane. As you know, Saul talks about it.
Hey, Eric. It's me, Saul, calling you back.
Patreon.com/Eric Zane. New stuff going up there every single day. If it's not the Patreon bonus podcast, it's Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia, whatever it may be. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. In fact, I've got Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia today. Kevin Corbat from somewhere in North Carolina is taking on Dale, but I'm recording it at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And the open of this show brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Reach out to Mario if you need a mortgage from anywhere in the U.S. 231-332-6505. I shouldn't say anywhere in the U.S. There are 4 exceptions: South Carolina, Maine, Alaska, and Hawaii. If you're in those states, you cannot take advantage of this. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. That's still not bad. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. If your credit is excellent, this is a simple process. If you've got a couple of roadblocks in there, it might take a little bit more finesse, if you will. NMLS number 3035, the interest rates are going up, but it's all good. They're still very low, but, I mean, 1 year from now, you won't be able to get a loan at the rate that you can get right now because they're going to continue to go up. Rate hikes will continue to gradually take place to slow the economy down. Reduce your buying power so that you're not tempted to buy homes or cars or get a line of credit so that you pull the reins a little bit. But you can still get a loan, a good loan. If you or someone you love is getting set to turn 65 or is currently already taking advantage of the Medicare system, this is for you. A free service is a Medicare checkup or planning session from Frank the Tank Fuss. 616-914-4070. That's 616-914-4070. 1,000,000% free. Okay? And after he takes a look at what you have for benefits from the government, for what you, well, the entitlement that you're supposed to have, the Medicare system, there is a way to screw that up, though. If you've done it yourself and filled out what you think is appropriate for the Medicare, for your Medicare plan or your upcoming Medicare plan that you're about to take advantage of, it's a little tricky. So you need someone in your corner to help you with that. 616-914-4070. for Frank Fuss. My Policy Shop Insurance is the name of his business. He is a Medicare Advantage Plan expert. The Slam Man, Jay Moore, in town on, Friday for 2 shows at the Grand Rapids Comedy Club, which is part of Creston Brewery. He's got a 7 p.m. show and a 9:30 p.m. show. Then Saturday, he has 2 more shows at Creston Brewery, Grand Rapids Comedy Club. Get your tickets for Jay Moore. More shows coming. Also this week, Thursday, the multi-talented Rachel Feinstein is at the Listening Room, 7:30 on Thursday. And Friday, she's at the Park Theater, as well as Saturday, Back Alley Comedy Club in Muskegon. Friend of the show, Ricardo Winston. He's doing stand-up at Rockford Corner Bar on Thursday. Saturday, he's at Howard City Lanes. Okay. FullHouseComedy.com for tickets to these and all of the upcoming shows. Shane Smith in the very near future. And I have heard so many great things about Shane Smith that I'm excited for his appearance. People have, my son especially is like, oh my God, Shane Smith is like one of my favorites. You're going to love Shane Smith, Dad. When is he coming? Is it in April? Rob Little? No. Shane Smith is a dude with tattoos on his face. Brad Williams? All right. I'll figure it out later. Okay. This story. This is a New York City teacher who's, okay, so March of 20 is when the world shut down, just over 2 years ago. March of 2020. And then remember, as the world tried to adapt, we started doing everything via Zoom. You know? After the 2-week flatten the curve passed, and they're like, did we say 2 weeks? We meant 2 years. We did the 2-year flatten the curve plan, which I am hoping happens again. Because this podcast took off during that time. I have my fingers crossed that this pandemic comes back twice as strong. If it does, okay, we will see more growth. So let us hope for more death. If we have more death, we will continue to grow the show. I'm kidding, you assholes. It's a fucking joke. No one's really busting my balls. I'm just getting ahead of that. But in all seriousness, it does look like there's another variant that is percolating and about to come across the pond and fuck everything up again. And that's why we need Governor Whitmer in there to give us money and to shut everything down. That's what we need to keep us safe. We need to look to her for this leadership. The troll game is strong today, if you haven't figured that out. Where the fuck was I? What was I going to talk about? Oh, and then with Zoom, people started to masturbate on Zooms and do terrible things that they're not supposed to do because they think that even though everyone can see them, they think that they now. You see CEOs of Fortune 500 companies doing Zoom calls. A guy will be sitting there doing a Zoom, and then all of a sudden there's a penis in his face, and he puts his mouth on it. That actually happened in several Zooms. You see all of this horrible people in regular walks of life just saying hi to their friends, and then the next thing you know. Someone will stand up and spread his ass cheeks and show his asshole, and then a turd comes flying right out of his ass, hits the camera falls over, everybody's disgusted. That's what's taking place. This teacher in New York City at some massively brainy school. She was a Spanish teacher. She was doing Zoom class, and she's eating, and the students are like, wait, she's eating on camera. That's weird. And that really doesn't have anything to do with the next part. But then you see a bare-chested man's body behind her, and you see, like, from the neck down, and it just the chest area. You don't know if he's nude or anything. And then for no particular reason, this woman turns around, and the reason why this happened is because of COVID and because Zoom. Okay, that is what is to blame for this. Oops. That's so sweet. I'm getting some weird audio. This woman, while teaching the class, all the students are watching this. And she turns around, and then the students see this, and the kids. Here's what's great about this: the kids know when teachers are losing their minds, and when they do that, they bust out their cell phones. So this is actually cell phone video from a student as she starts to suck the titty of the guy. I'm not even kidding you. So there's no sound here in this, but look she's just sucking his tit. And then she does a little shimmy there like she enjoyed it and smiles. And it's no big deal. She's eating and then sucks the guy's tit. I'm going to see it again. Okay. We pick it up right as she's doing tit suckage. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's not really my thing, you know? And I mean, and seriously, it's so weird. I mean, if you're going to get in trouble, you might as well put your mouth on his ding-dong, right? And then the guy's just there, and then he kind of just slides out of the shot. Wow. Okay. So very strange. Well, she got in trouble for that. Well, now she's back. They let her back into the school, and she's just picking up business as usual. She's been gone for 19 months. A Manhattan Spanish teacher. That's what she's a teacher of. Yanked from the classroom after investigators found she sucked on the guy's titty during a Zoom class, returned to the same school, stunning students who had witnessed the lewd display. One junior told the New York Post, "It's weird. It's wrong." Oh, shut up. Do you know what kids put teachers through? I say this is fine. This is no big deal. Who cares? Nowadays, I mean, every single student in this school has probably had 2 in the rectum. So, I mean, kids are crazy these days. So, I mean, kids are having sex earlier than ever. I mean, most children have had sex by 5 or 6. So, I don't even want to hear that just because you see some teacher putting her mouth, blowing off a little steam to freak out the class. I think it's great. This is awesome. The City Department of Education's handling of the incident, one of the most truly bizarre during the pandemic, showed insensitivity and a failure to communicate with students and parents. The DOE removed Amanda Fletcher from Columbia Secondary School for math, science, and engineering. So these are okay, now I get it. You have the uptight nerds. This is a really smart kids' school. Columbia Secondary School for math, science, and engineering. So they might be late bloomers. Okay, now a traditional public school, all of everything I've said is true. By the time they're in first grade, they've experienced more sexually than you or me. And we're old. And that's horrible, but that's just the way it is. They get it all online. Next thing you know, you have a play date with 2 young kids. You leave the room to go get a cup of coffee. You come back, they're nude. It's horrible. And that's just the way it is. And that's disgusting, and I hate that. The DOE removed teacher Amanda Fletcher from Columbia School after investigators found she, quote, engaged in an inappropriate sex act while remotely instructing her class. This is all bullshit. Look at her. You can tell she's a free spirit. I mean, look at the look on her face. Okay? She's like, that's the look of a woman who's like, man, I can't wait to go. That's the way you teach kids. You get their attention. You know, before you teach them about whatever, you start by drinking a martini. And by the way, this picture right here, that's not actually a martini in the martini. It's a different substance. You don't see the group of nude guys also in this picture. You see that look on her face? That's a look of joy when she's about to guzzle the martini. Okay. During the lesson, Professor Fletcher, as students call her, sat at the kitchen table eating spaghetti with a shirtless man standing behind her. She appeared to suckle on the nipple while rocking back and forth, turned to the camera, smiled, and wiggled her shoulders. Yes, it's joy. The Special Commissioner of Investigation for City Schools reported. I mean, can you imagine trying to explain that? I mean, she looks like the type that would say, yeah, so what? So what? Oh, my God, are you seeing what I'm seeing? A student in the class asked a friend. She was eating pasta full on. Then a half-naked guy came on. After taking her mouth off the man's chest, Fletcher did her little shimmy, the student recalled. She wasn't hiding it. It was a look at me kind of thing. Well, yes. Well, guess what? You kids do the same damn thing, so shut up. What would you rather have? A student punch a kid in the face or Mrs. Fletcher suck that guy's titty? One student recorded the scene, shared the video with other kids. Again, I cannot... it's such a crazy world we live in. I think about to the most explicit thing that I ever saw a teacher do when I was in school. And probably the most outrageous thing was that Mr. Palo would take his loafers off and just sit with his socks on because his feet hurt. And that's about it. And he would get pissed off and throw me around the room. True story, man. This guy, I was such a dick that I identified the students with asthma. I am not kidding you. Kristen Majeski and Jenny Markuzik and Debbie Pasco. I would identify the students that I knew had asthma. And then I would take the erasers and bang them together and blow it right into their faces. Well, Palo saw that, and oh, my God, did he kick my ass. Just grab me by the shirt and throw me around like a fucking rag doll. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to take punishment. Go home. Mom, Mr. Palo kicked my ass. What did you do? Well, I tried to cause Kristen Majeski, Jenny Markuzik, or I'm sorry, Kristen Gryaski, Jenny Markuzik. Did I say Majestic? Gryaski and Jenny Markuzik and Debbie Pasco to have an asthma attack. Oh, you dumb fuck. And then she would kick my ass, too. So I don't want to hear about any of this. You're traumatized by this. Come on. Palo, if my desk was messy and he was having a bad day, he would grab the desk and lift it and take it out in the hall and just throw it. It's incredible. And then the shit goes everywhere. Clean it up. My God. Why is Troy Ginzer calling me? Can I call you later? Now Professor Fletcher is back. Guess who's back? 17 months later, she is back teaching. They're in the classroom, and then here they are. All these months later, she is back. And this is great news. You see, you cannot fire teachers. Teachers can actually kill people. And they, even if they're they go to prison, they're not fired. This is true. I find this whole situation nauseating. It's beyond a slap in the face, says some mom. Are you kidding me? Shut up. But Principal Miriam Nightingale claimed her hands were tied. You see, this is what I'm talking about. The decision to return Amanda Fletcher to service was not made at the school level. She said in an email, I cannot change her assignment to our school, and I cannot bar her from the building. You see, teachers, sometimes a teacher will complain that they're underpaid and that they're overworked and that they don't have enough money and they have to dip into their own pockets to buy school supplies and things like that. And what you need to do, hold on a second, let me close the window here because I'm about to go crazy. Since my neighbor's an educator, we can't have this happening. What most teachers forget is they have the world. I mean, they're in charge of the world, okay? These people watch our kids, so they can't lose their job. So if you ever catch a teacher complaining about anything, you need to slap the shit out of them. Just slap the taste right out of their mouth because they get paid to do this job. And they will have the job that's guaranteed job for the rest of their lives. In the local district that supports our teachers right now, entry-level job is $48,000. It tops out at about $86,000 a year if you're there for 30 years. So, nobody's getting rich. But you do get summers off. Okay? Fuck. You could work, 9 months of the year and then go stripe parking lots and make a fortune with shoreliner striping. And you can suck some guy's titty and you don't get fired. You can do anything if you are a teacher. You have diplomatic immunity. So I have had it with teachers complaining. Shut up. Everybody knows you can do whatever you want. The mom was livid. I don't care where the woman goes, but give us a heads up. What, you just needed to be you just needed to be told? Let the kids know. Because they did their duty by talking to investigators. And then suddenly she's back in their faces. Oh, come on. Do you know how much porno your children watch during class? Quit acting like that there's some delicate flowers that had something terrible happen to them. If I have a student, if one of my kids is a student and I find out that the teacher sucked some guy's titty on the Zoom, I'm saying she should be given a raise. The boldness to garner the attention of the student body with that maneuver is absolutely fantastic. I applaud Professor Fletcher. The mom, who asked to remain anonymous to protect her daughter's privacy, said she called the superintendent and chancellor's offices repeatedly but got a runaround. So she called a reporter, of course. On Wednesday, a day after the Post asked about Fletcher's return, the Department of Education sent Fletcher to a district office, a spokeswoman said. Before returning to the school, Fletcher settled the misconduct charges by agreeing to irrevocably resign effective July 1, officials said. A DOE spokeswoman would not explain why Fletcher was sent back to the school until then. Yeah, I don't know either. And truth be told, she probably will have a difficult time getting a job going forward. But, I mean, come on now. Our kids have seen worse. I said worse. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Full support for Professor Fletcher. She's probably going to start an OnlyFans page, which I have a story about an OnlyFans page coming up here, too. All right. That is the tale of Professor Fletcher. Tag accounting. I just heard from Troy. He's calling me. What do you want? 616-301-9516 for tag accounting, online at tagcpa.net. Hands-in website. Still time. It's the 22nd of March. When is tax day? I always ask this question. When is tax day? Monday, April 18th. Still plenty of time. No matter where you are in the U.S., do this. You've been putting off your taxes. You don't want to do it. I don't blame you. You got a whole weekend's worth of work. You're wondering if you're doing it right. You're plugging in figures into some stupid online program that you shouldn't have paid for in the first place. Fuck that. Hopefully you haven't paid for that yet. Don't do that. Have a professional human being do the taxes for you. Don't do it yourself. Tagcpa.net. Unbelievable professional. You have the power of his team behind you. No matter where you are, you just upload your information via his online portal, and he can take care of your return no matter what state you live in. If you live here in West Michigan, I saw Joe Pellerito went and saw Troy. I saw that Jacob Bennett went over there and visited Troy. That's very cool of you. Thank you for supporting the sponsors. Boyd in Indiana had Troy do his taxes. And you can too. 616-301-9516 or online at tagcpa.net. If you need any type of lubrication for your vehicles, go to jmsynthetics.com. Once you're there, shop by product or by vehicle or piece of equipment. And get the goods. I just had a couple of jugs of oil sent my way, an oil filter and an air filter for the embellisher. It's that simple. On the website, you'll see a phone number, 616-747-0233. Call or text that. That is Jason Mays' direct line. Say, hey, I need this. And then, okay, it shows up at your door. It's that simple. JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. Go to the website, jmsynthetics.com. Figure out what you want. Call or text the number, and you're done. Another great professional that is part of the Eric Zane Show podcast marketing family. A&E Heating and Cooling. It's time to start thinking about A&E Heating and Cooling. It won't be long till it is getting warm and sweltering here in West Michigan. So you need the AC tuned up. Get on the schedule so that that is taken care of before the days turn warm. You can just pop that thing on once you get it tuned up. If you just flip it on, minus the tune-up, you run the risk of something terrible happening. It's a very sensitive piece of equipment. And, hell, you could have a frickin' mouse's nest in there, and that would be horrible. Or a squirrel's nest or something like that. They chew on the wires. I'm not even kidding. Boom. You turn on the juice. You got dead squirrel in there. That's no fun. And everything, your motherboard's fried. Don't have that happen. It needs to be cleaned every single year. Call 616. Did you hear that? Call 616-516-8579 and schedule your appointment. Okay. I'm going to introduce you to an OnlyFans model who is works very hard for her customers. She's known online as Ruby May. She's 25. She has a freakishly large, gargantuanly massive set of boobs. So I'm going to show you a picture of her wearing a bikini, and it's a bikini top that would fit on a girl who has no boobs. So it's ridiculous how it looks. So some of you guys might even get a partial boner from this. So here you go. There it is. That's her. That's enough. Those are huge bazooms. She's from Sydney, Australia. She has a rare condition that is causing trouble in her brain. Okay? And she had to get surgery on her brain. I'll deal you in as to what she's doing. She is actually, while she's recovering from her surgery, laying in the hospital bed, she's still taking pictures of her boobs and posting them. So she is totally providing the content, going above and beyond. She is not even taking a break. And guys are turned on at looking at her head scar and her boobs.
Surgery.
Here she is.
So if I had this fluid build up in my spine like all at once, I wouldn't be able to walk anymore. I'd be paralyzed. But because it's been building up my entire life, my body's like learned to live with it. And if it kept going, you can get paralyzed.
Look at this.
Like,
look at that.
To get the surgery.
Look at that ridiculous cleavage. I mean, it looks. I've got the urge to park a bicycle. Holy shit.
To not, because I don't really want to.
I don't like that. I'm not a big boob guy. I'm not into that. So it looks freakish to me.
Paralyzed. I am having brain surgery in early February.
Smart as a whip.
So yeah, that's a fun little exciting moment. Just a silly, goofy thing that I have to do.
Okay, this is her. She's posting pictures of her titties while she just... No way. That's weird. That's weird. Okay, so I guess that's dialed up for her. Okay. Holy shit. Look at this. You think I'm kidding? Wow. Her head all stapled shut. Yikes. And she continues to take pictures from her bed. More on her. And by the way, this is great for her. This is smart. Because otherwise no one would be talking about this. All she had to do was take a couple pictures of her boobs while she's laying in the bed, and then more people that otherwise would not have heard about her are going to check her page out. So, I snarkily said, yeah, smart as a whip, but I think she's definitely smart about this. Ruby May, according to this article, kept it sexy while she was in the hospital, taking not safe for work snaps while in recovery for days and posting a steady stream on her fan page. I can never bring myself to stop working, and I took nudes in the bed in my hospital gown the day after surgery. She had been dealing with frequent moments of dizziness and sharp headaches that would go on for about 10 seconds each instance. Once May took a trip to the doctor, she found out she was diagnosed with Chiari malformation, a rare condition that occurs when an area of the skull contorts and puts pressure on the spinal column. The busty brunette has over 421,000 followers on Instagram under the handle @FamousForMyPersonality, and revealed to the outlet that she's made millions on OnlyFans. But her enormous presence on the adult content subscription service has helped pay for her brain surgery. So this is great. I think it's funny because everyone thinks my life is so easy because of OnlyFans. She stated that her 3-hour operation cost her $20,000 at a private hospital. I would have thought it would have cost more. Despite her misfortune, May is grateful to be alive as she attributes her headaches as a sign from the universe. She's then decided to go for an MRI to figure out the cause of the pain. I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Blah, blah, blah. She talks about how she was nervous to go under the knife. It was scary waking up. But I guess she's good. So, you know what? OnlyFans, you perverts that touch your ding-dong to her, have kept her alive. That's great. I guess it worked out. How about it, though? The fact that, I mean, if you are a person like her who just has to take still photos and then you make millions of dollars on OnlyFans. If you're a person, because it takes a toll. If you think about in the adult film industry, in porno, people that go into that business, they end up like aging very fast. It's on par with like pro wrestling. The terrible things that happen to these people. They usually get addicted to drugs, and they die young. It's awful. Or they look like fuck at age 40. You see some of these adult stars, and they've got the body and face of like that old guy that everybody says was 163 years old, that monk dude. You see that guy? Well, that's how most adult stars look at age 40. But if you are an OnlyFans, if you have an OnlyFans page and you're just, hold up a picture and take a picture of your boobies and you post it, you make millions of dollars. That is a lot less wear and tear on the person being photographed, You get a little bit more free time because if you're in porno, you got to go to do the shoot. And if you're into butt stuff, you got to clean out your system, and that's awful. It takes a toll on you. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh God, that's a little much. So, it's just easier on your body. So I think that what's ultimately going to happen is more women are going to get out of porno or not even go into it in the first place and just do their own thing and, not have to share the money with some creepy fuck who's using them in that way. So OnlyFans is great for that. It is keeping people alive longer. I was thinking, wouldn't it be something if one of you did an OnlyFans page? And it's like what I would see it going like is this. It would be like a drawing. First of all, we would have to raise money to who would win the drawing. And there would have to be legal documentation that would have to go with this. We would have to draw up a contract that it would be legally binding. So it'd be like a weirdo version of a lottery. So let's say we have $50,000 pooled, which we might be able to pool that money up amongst audience members. Okay. And then, so we have the money, and then we have to take audience members who then want to participate. They have to be willing to do it. And let's say out of all the audience, which my audience isn't that large, but if I were to get 100 of you who are interested, and we put the name in the bag, and then whoever draws it out gets the money, but has to build an OnlyFans page. I don't know if I want to see any of you doing an OnlyFans page, but that would be the payoff. You would have to actually do an OnlyFans page, and there's no getting around it. And if you try to circumvent that, you would be sued, and we would get that money back. But the thing about the OnlyFans page, it can't be like you doing what you want to do, of you just sitting there with your clothes on. We would have to spin the wheel of fetish for like each week's efforts. So, you could have Patriot Nick. It lands on him. He's like, oh, yeah, cool, I got the money. And then we spin the wheel, and then the next week, there's 7 guys hitting him with loads in his face. So that is a very, very real thing that could happen if you spin the wheel of fetish. This is all very strange, I admit, but it could be fun. It is something that will never happen. All right. So stupid. Anyway, hats off to her for, she getting her name out there is one thing. She already makes millions of dollars on the OnlyFans, and now she's going to make millions more because of that go-get-'em attitude. One day after surgery, and I don't know how turned on I would be by seeing a woman with a bandaged head. Well, I wouldn't be turned on with those enormous boobs, but a lot of people would. People like that stuff. I am not a boob guy, okay? I am into athletic women. I'll just say this right now. Boobs are not a thing. But a woman who looks like she could pole vault the Empire State Building, and I need to walk away if I see that chick, okay? I'm like, what? Oh, my God. I'm out of here. So, sorry. Little inside baseball there. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about some serious shit going on in the world. It has to do with Russia and the war going on right now. And something actually pretty damn cool about this war, I guess. It means people are going to die, but it's Russian, so honestly, who gives a fuck? Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of these Russian guys are participated in this war, and they don't even know what the fuck they're fighting for. They think that there's Nazis that are running Ukraine, which is just absolutely ridiculous. We all know that. Unless you're Madison Cawthorn. He believes that Zelensky is a thug. Boy, everybody hates that guy. How about him? I wouldn't be surprised at the next big meeting of Congress, somebody flips his ass out of that stupid fucking chair. You don't look so handsome there, rolling around on the ground, you fuckhead. What an asshole. But first, thank you again to Threads Podcast. Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. What are those boys up to? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. These are really, really nice people. Mike and Jason. Episode 172 is the most recent episode. It uploaded on Friday. It is titled, Eric Zane joins us for some unfiltered conversation. Okay, here's what happened there. I'm sitting there, and it's Mike's turn to start the show. They take turns. Jason started the show, and then while he starts it, you didn't hear any of that. Let me play that again. Hold on a second here. Idiot. I hate it when I do that. Okay, this.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Thank you so much for joining us. Whenever... What? Are you up? Go ahead. We change it up now. Mike's trying to change shit since Ben's gone. Okay, go.
So annoyed at you.
No, we're just going to leave him.
No, I was so pissed. It's like, well, Mike didn't do anything, you fucking dummy. You did it. You're the one who forgot that it's Mike's turn to start. You can't be mad at Mike for that.
I'm not leaving that in there.
Welcome to Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Thank you.
These guys sound a lot alike. Mike sounds a lot like Jason.
So much for joining us. This is a show where we talk about faith, uncomfortable conversations, and
faith. I'm like,
mental health. Jason, what in the world are we doing today?
So we're recording episode 172 with Eric Zane, and he's been on the show before with a different host, so that's fun. And
you gotta say with Ben. You gotta say with Ben because then people get pissed.
Do they?
Yeah.
When you don't name them?
Right. I know like on my old show when they would like treat me like Lord Voldemort.
Oh, and just not say it?
Then it would make me very upset.
Okay. Well, we know Ben listens, so sorry, Ben.
He does listen?
Oh, I'm sure.
I hope so. He helped build it. It's just too bad it got off the rails, but not to dig up old bones. But
no, it's okay.
What episode was I with you in? It could have been more than... All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I don't want to steal any thunder. You're going to love that. That's actually an episode that's been out for several days. But it's a lot of fun. I love the show. And it was just a good time. So Threads Podcast, Life Unfiltered. Go there and listen to that show. They do about an hour a week, and it's good. Fun time. That, and of course, my friends at Just Chirpin'. Just Chirpin Podcast. If I don't play what the fuck they did, they're going to say, hey, how come they get a spotlight on them and we don't? You're right. Episode 53. They titled it Silver Linings. These boys from Just Chirpin. There you go.
Use your sucky white skates like a figure skater, eh? Well, use her like referee skates. At least figure skaters know how to skate, eh? Hey, somebody horked our clothes. Geez, who'd want to hork our clothes, eh?
One of these knobs.
These guys got sick and tired of wearing their pajamas, eh? Oh, they're all on ice. We better report this to our boss. No, hey, let's go see if there's lost and found, eh? No, let's report it to our boss. No, lost and found's a better idea.
Just Chirpin. Just Chirpin. Just Chirpin.
Welcome back to the Just Chirpin podcast with your hosts, Brent, Chris, Stefan, and Jay. Listed by age, of course.
Where's the lyrics?
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey, what the fuck was that?
That one wasn't a hard stop.
Yeah.
I love how you gradually do that.
Nice host, Brent, Chris.
Well, why? They're doing Kyle fades.
Stefan and Jay.
Listen to this.
This is by age, of course.
You asshole.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
It was nice that one wasn't a hard stop.
Yeah, that was. I love how you gradually do that.
Nice little fade away.
You fade all day. Fade away, fade all day. Listed by age.
Okay, Brent is. That's Brent. Okay, that's the grizzled veteran voice. That's lunch pail to work mentality guy. Okay, that's Brent. I can always tell Brent. I can always tell Stefan too. Outside of that, I gotta think a little about Jay and Chris. I get a little confused.
Oh, so youngest to oldest?
That's right.
I'll take it.
I think the listeners that know us personally will understand that wasn't necessarily the case. Youngest to oldest?
Yeah. Shut up!
Hear it in my voice.
So
get to it.
Sound pretty similar right now, not gonna lie.
So a couple of things to touch on before we get into this week's episode. We did not published an episode last week.
Fuckers.
Believe it or not, we did sit down and record, but we had some technical difficulty in the show.
Jay forgot to hit record.
Show sounded like shit.
Oh, no.
And we're back with you. So this is...
That's painful. I mean, take it from me, a guy who sometimes will play stuff and then you can't hear it or something wonky happens because I didn't hit the right button. Oh, no, that's a terrible feeling. I'm sorry that happened to you. Just Chirpin. Online, justchirpin.com. All right. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Okay. In the ongoing war. So now you have... whoever's staying is staying. A lot of people that leave Ukraine. I mean, millions of people have fled the country. They go to other countries, and they basically have to start over. So imagine that. Imagine you doing what you did for a living, and then you have to walk to Canada. And once you're there, you're given refugee status, new identification. You have to then tap into their social services to get a place to live. Let's say you do lawn care. You then have to get a job. You then have to... You're starting over. Displaced from your country. As this long war draws on and on and on. You know, and you know, as the U.S. has just granted close to $1 billion in aid for Ukraine to fight this war. Now, Ukraine's technology in fighting this war is quite good. And I wanted to share with you something that the U.S. did in addition to part of the package that they just sent. They're sending a large number of these devices called Switchblades. Okay. So what is a switchblade? When they hold it, it just looks like kind of like a rickety cylinder, if you will. So what the military guys will do in Ukraine is they will put it in this tube, and then they fire it like a mortar. Now, the switchblade will travel like 20 miles, and then it will find its target, and it will blow up. But there's a little more to it than that. When you fire the switchblade, wings pop out. It's a drone, and there's a camera, okay? And there's a guy who's guiding it. And it's small and fast. It travels about 100, well, not fast. It's about 100 miles an hour. And it fucking, you find your target, and then it delivers an explosion like the size of like a landmine. And they're cheap. They cost $6,000 per. I was so stoked about this. This thing is so fucking cool. It's like, I want one of these. Son of a bitch. I've got a video to share with you of the Switchblade in action. This is what we just sent over there. That's a Javelin right there. That thing is awesome, too. We've talked about that. This dude, all he has to do is press a button, and it takes off, and then he throws that on the ground and goes and has a smoke. It's already figured out its target, and it goes right to it and strikes a tank on top, the weakest armor point, and blows it up. It's fucking amazing. Okay? This is the Switchblade in action.
Referred to as, quote, tactical unmanned aerial systems.
Watch
Two
this.
congressional officials told NBC News today that those tactical unmanned aerial systems are actually something called Switchblade drones, similar to the ones that you'd see here. They're portable, low-cost, single-use weapons that can strike enemy targets from miles away and fly much faster than the Turkish drones that Ukraine has been using to date. These U.S. Switchblade drones are also small enough that they cannot be detected by most air defense systems.
Well, who knew war would be so much fun? Holy shit. That is fucking cool. So here's what gets me. Ukraine didn't have that. Now they do. They got it from us. Okay? And if you're Russia, what's keeping these assholes from bombing us? This is what scares me right now. Okay? This bit of equipment has the ability to obliterate entire groups of soldiers that are just trying to do their things and, kill people. And one guy could be in charge of all of this shit from miles away. The warfare has absolutely changed. Meanwhile, you got the Russians are clumsy and bumbling and fumbling, just kind of storming in, and they're getting their asses kicked. Yes, Russia keeps bombing all these soft targets and things like that, but this is why they're describing this as an unwinnable war. If you look, that's the camera on the Switchblade. So basically you just let it go, and then they go, all right, it's like playing a fucking video game. It's so awesome. How cool is that? First developed to counter insurgents in Afghanistan, the Switchblade has become a staple of the U.S. military's conventional and special operations arsenals. And then there's stories about how the Russians are launching hypersonic missiles at orphanages. And that's not doing anything, though. The hypersonic missile is largely ineffective. It's almost not equipped to blow up targets like that for some reason. And so they said that it's just kind of a mess. And a lot of people are suggesting that Russia is firing hypersonic missiles just to show the world they have hypersonic missiles. So this is kind of like a shit or get off the pot. This is what concerns me about Russia. Is this going to lead to them firing nuclear weapons. And that's like, boy, you know, as we keep feeding the Ukrainians the best of technology to fuck up the Russian military with one guy from 25 miles away who's just firing and then holding up a remote control and blowing up tank regiments. As they send over 100 Switchblade tactical unmanned systems. They are known as kamikaze drones that, according to this, will make life for Russian troops miserable. There's two versions, Switchblade 300 and Switchblade 600. Switchblade 300 is like a flying claymore, which is an anti-personnel mine made out of C4 explosive and hundreds of small metal ball bearings. You can't even hear it coming, dude. Next thing you know, you got a plane sticking out of your chest that blows up. Designed specifically to take out infantry and artillery targets. Truly tactical. 2 feet long, 5 pounds. Switchblade launch from a tube akin to a mortar, speed of 100 miles an hour. Actually, I said a longer range. This one can only fly for 15 minutes or 6 miles. But that's perfect for what they want to do. And then the 600 is a 24-mile range, cruising speed of 70, but that weighs 120 pounds, with an explosive charge similar to that of the Javelin anti-tank missile. The Switchblade 600 designed to take out tanks and armored targets. You have Steve Jobs to thank for this. If we didn't have the iPhone, we wouldn't have this. This is fucking sweet. They're called loitering munitions. They have an onboard sensor with GPS to guide them to the target, and some guy playing a video game 10 miles away said, let's go blow up some tanks. They can also record the video so you can see it all happen as it gets closer and closer. You can actually see it go into the mouth of some Russian asshole. You can see that dangly thing at the back of his throat when it, boom! Oh, my God. It also, if they fire it, it has what's known as a wave-off function. You just hit a button, and it veers, and it aborts. So if they're flying it into the target, and suddenly, as it flies, it take a little bit of time to get there, a school bus pulls up next to it and is going to be in the crosshairs, you can just abort it, wave it off, you know? No goal! And it will not strike the target to prevent any civilian casualties. Oh, I want to be in the Army. I want to be fighting in Ukraine. Ugh. Here's another picture of the Switchblade. Look at this thing. This little propeller spins. $6,000. My God, I would love to see this. I would love to fire this. Even if it meant just, doing a test flight of this thing. Holy cow. U.S. Special Operations Command's been using this since the early 2010s. It's just kind of getting publicity now. A contract was awarded to AeroVironment, a $20 million contract for the Switchblade 600. Buy your AeroVironment stock now. We've been using Switchblades for some time now. They're really effective downrange because they put distance between the operator and its target. It was really effective in Syria and Iraq against ISIS. A Green Beret assigned to a National Guard unit told Insider. ISIS fighters often attempted to take out special operations teams or their forward operating bases with car bombs. On some rare occasions, we would use Switchblades to take them out en route. It's also a good option for urban warfare because you can be very precise and avoid collateral damage, added the Green Beret, who was not authorized to speak to the media, but I'm glad they did. There's also the MQ-9 Reaper, which is another bit of U.S. military insanity. That's this son of a bitch, which actually flies at a very high rate of speed and will fire, if you notice here, in this area. These are Hellfire missiles, and there's 4 of them. So, and it actually can dogfight. This drone can actually dogfight against a fighter jet. Not that well, but still, you can have a dogfight with a guy on a remote control on an aircraft carrier. How sweet is this? But again, this all goes back to we are in a war right now with Russia. We're using our equipment, and they are doing the heavy lifting. So that's what concerns me. What is to keep Vladimir Putin from launching something terrible our way, ending life as we know it? Very, very concerning and scary to your old pal Eric Zane. But until then, I'll just hope that all's well that ends well, I guess. That drone I just showed you, $56 million. And the Hellfire missile that it fires, each one is over $100,000. And a Switchblade is $6,000. Hey, buy some stock in that company right now. Why did they only send 100 of those over? What's the math on that? Is that $600,000? Yeah. Let's send like 1 million of them over. Every man, woman, and child, for every person that lives there, just fire it off and then you play the video game. I mean, can you imagine if it's like a coordinated guerrilla warfare tactic with children at the helm blowing up everything in sight with these things? If 1 million switchblades come raining down from the sky at one time, the war is effectively over, is it not? Well, do it. What the fuck are you waiting for? My God. All right. That way you can tell warships, yeah, go fuck yourself, and they can't blow you up. Can you imagine if those guys who were on that Snake Island, remember when the war started? They're like, go fuck yourself, and everybody said they died, but they didn't. If they had these things, they could launch like 50 of them and fuck that boat up so quickly. Holy shit. That boat sank, by the way. So they actually did sink that boat somehow. Okay. I want to get to this, too. Putin, I know a lot of you love fake news, okay? So for those of you who love it, you'll be able to relate to this. Okay? Putin and his fake news propaganda campaign that he is putting forth to the Russian people, and a number of them believe that actual Nazis have taken over Ukraine. One of the things he's doing is saying that 3 U.S. military were killed in action. And that's been a big, because they hate us. We hate the West. We hate the West. And they even showed names and faces of U.S. military killed. Now you're thinking, well, are they in action? Are they in country? What is going on here? Why would they do this? From what I'm understanding, I think they just took 3 random military people and got their profiles online and then splashed it all across state-run media sources in Russia saying these 3 got killed, these 3 American soldiers. But the problem is the 3 are like, well, no, I'm here at home. I'm in Tennessee. 3 current and former members of the Tennessee National Guard were identified in a Russian media report as mercenaries who were killed in Ukraine. And, well, they're not dead. Nothing happened. As President Joe Biden ordered the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Ukraine prior to Russia's invasion of the country. I said that wrong. President Harris telling Joe Biden to order the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Ukraine prior to Russia's invasion of the country as part of a broader effort to avoid a direct confrontation with Russia. But the report published in Russia's Pravda identified the Americans by name and gave military ranks for each of them. Fake news. citing information from pro-Russian militia in Ukraine's Donetsk. Do I say Donetsk? Donetsk? The report even offered an intricate explanation for how the three were identified, using items from a backpack, quote, near the remains of the militants, including a Tennessee state flag. Tennessee National Guard has responded. They said, though all of our members are racist, we are aware of the fake news coming out of Russia. Some of that statement is true, said Tracy O'Grady, a spokesperson for the larger U.S. National Guard. The Tennessee Guard said in a statement, they are accounted for, safe, and back participating in lynchings in Tennessee. Some of that is true. As the article headline erroneously states, U.S. mercenaries killed in Donetsk People's Republic. A U.S. official, speaking on condition of anonymity, said two of the men are still in the National Guard of Tennessee and in the state of Tennessee. The other man had left the service but was alive and accounted for and is the Grand Wizard of the Klan and not in Ukraine. So that's what Russia is doing. The National Guard speculated the militia picked the three men while reviewing official imagery associated with a 2018 deployment by Tennessee's 278th Armored Cavalry Regiment to Ukraine, suggesting all three had at one point been there. Quote, all members of the Tennessee National Guard returned safely to their homes, to their home state in 2019 to further alienate and persecute black people and Jews in Tennessee, according to the statement. Russia on Sunday attacked the main base where prior to Biden's pullout, the U.S. military had long trained Ukrainian forces. It fired air-launched cruise missiles from Russian airspace at the Yavoriv International Center for Peacekeeping and Security. That was the base that was right by the Polish border that pissed everybody off. That wasn't last Sunday. It was the Sunday before. This is an old story. All right. Some of that story is true. Most of it is true. I would say all of it. All right. Okay. Where are we here? Oh, my God. Did you see the footage of... This is going to be tough to watch. The Chinese plane crash. My God. Look at this. This is a still image. You see that vertical image with the clouds as a backdrop? See, typically planes are supposed to be horizontal, going this way. You know, left to right. Instead, it's going up, down. You couldn't get a more straight into the ground. You often wonder, now I've never seen this before. This is a very rare thing to actually capture it happen. And then it goes behind these bushes. And then there you go. So the plane, everybody's dead. 132 people were on board. And then that is the moment. In fact, let me pull this up. I don't speak Chinese, but these people are doing a little narrating here of this clip right here. Look at that. What the fuck? Holy shit. Let me back this up here. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by this. It's like a morbid curiosity. That is enough to make you never want to fly on a plane again. I can't imagine what it's like. I mean, you got the front of the plane. I mean, well, I'm guessing people are strapped in, so they're looking straight down like a bad ride at Cedar Point. My only hope is that they lost consciousness. I mean, it fell 29,000 feet in like a minute and a half. It was just going straight down. My God. Here they are, like looking for the black box. Look at that destruction. That guy just said, fuck this. Did you hear that? The guy actually said, fuck this. I heard that. The guy hates broccoli. He just said, fuck broccoli. All right. Now, these guys here, they've been ordered to get over there and clean that shit up. And if they don't, hurry, their families are going to be killed. And look at how quickly they respond. You got to give China credit. If they say jump, the people say how high. These guys were like working regular jobs. All these guys, they were working at various fast food, different industries, perhaps automotive, social workers, lawn care, and then every person in China has one of these suits, you see? And if they call out your number, you get like buzz. You have like a pager. This is all true. And then they have to get to the transport station. And if they don't, they fire one of those switchblades. And then the house is destroyed and you're dead. So, I mean, frankly, we should have this going in the U.S. And that would alleviate all the problems we've had in the past 2 years with you troublemakers. We would not have had as many people dying. We wouldn't have had to shut down our restaurants. We wouldn't have had the problems that we've had. If we had this type, if those freedoms were taken away from you, like they should be, we would have we'd had a wonderful time. Well, the whole world would have been sick, and we would have been healthy and happy. You know, look at this. These guys, they're scared shitless. Get your ass in there, fucker. Go clean that shit up. These guys, they all got pants full of shit because they're scared so badly that their house is going to get blown up. They don't get over there and they, hey, because in fact, you pick up your phone and it says, you guys, go clean up that shit right now. And don't talk to anybody or you're dead. Look at these guys here. They all smell like shit because their pants are full of shit. And they're like, what do we do? Like, I don't know. Just clean up everything. So that's how it is. I tell you what, the Chinese have it made. That is spectacular. That mobilization, how quickly. The one guy was probably a butcher. I think the other guy was a veterinarian. They just have to leave the regular job. And then, off they go. Man, fantastic. All right. Man, that is impressive. Okay, folks. I have the asshole of the day coming up here. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Before I continue, though, it's important that I point out that yesterday I lost my shit and I was very unprofessional. And I want you to know that when I apologize, I've told you that I never, ever mean it. And I don't mean this either. No, I'm kidding you. I actually have to break the wall. This is what you do. You break the wall and you say, yeah, that was, I let I don't know what my deal was. It was a moment of weakness and assholishness that made everybody uncomfortable. And I don't like that. I would much rather be happy, and so would you. I screamed at Kenny. I screamed at Amanda. I was I'm so angry. I'm so mad. I'm so bad. And that is not okay. I am so sorry about that. And in a rare moment, I have to take back asshole of the day. I never, ever do that. Well, I've never done that. I've never taken it back, but I actually have to take it back. And I think that's, and some of you might be like, no, fuck them. No. I think that's fair. So I am giving myself the asshole of the day. It was a horrible display, and I regret it, but I'm done with it, and I'm moving on. And I'm sorry I put you through that. That was horrible. All right? Maybe one day they will earn that, but they did not earn it yesterday. That was not earnable. That was just a hothead asshole moment. That's all it was. Asshole. I am. My neighbors would tell you that. Thank you for forgiving me by coming back here and patronizing this show. All right. Before I announce the asshole of the day, which yesterday was Eric Zane, coming up, actually March is National Kidney Month. And I've been doing a lot of interviews with various sweet souls. The most recent is Eric Medamar. Okay. Eric needs a kidney. Go to kidneybeggar.com for more information about how you can help. Yes, I am actually saying I need one of you to give him a kidney. Wow, that's a big ask. And a big ass. But some of you might be moved, so I'm throwing it out there as much as possible. Just like I had the goal of trying to find a home for Rusty, I have a goal in mind through exposure and talking about it to get a kidney for Eric Medamar. You can get more information at kidneybeggar.com. KIDNEYBEGGAR. Every single one of you was like, no, not me. No, not me. No, I can't do it because I've got this wrong with me. No, I can't do it. I can't. Yes, you can try. Just go there and fill out the form. That's all I'm asking. Let them decide if you can't. All right? Have a little faith. Save this man's life, please. But technically, that isn't what this is about. This is about Gift of Life Michigan, which is different than Living Donor. Gift of Life Michigan is about if you have an untimely passing, okay, your organs are given to someone. You are donating your organs. It is a hero's moment for you after you pass. The most recent thing I posted was yesterday when I shared the interview on Facebook. I had 3 people with me via Zoom. None of them sucked anyone's nipple. I had Wendy and Nick, who are the mother and brother of Cody, who passed almost 6 years ago. Also with me was Chris, who received Cody's heart. Okay, so I had them all in to talk about the whole dynamic of that, to put a spotlight on being an organ donor. Please go to giftoflife.org for more information. This is the easiest thing you're going to do all day. I'm sorry, giftoflifemichigan.org. I do that every time. My apologies. giftoflifemichigan.org. Click where it says become a donor. And then that opens up. Then you go right here to register now. And then this form opens up, and that's it. I'm sorry. You click join today. So there's 3 clicks you have to make. I'm fucking this whole thing up. It was easier last time I did this. The fuck? Become a donor. All right. 2 ways to sign up. Register now via the secretary. Anyway, if you go here to giftoflifemichigan.org, it's all spelled out for you. Very, very simple process. So because you can't take it with you, so please save a life, your last gift to the world as you leave us. And I know that's weird to talk about, weird to think about, but still, it's something that every person in Michigan needs to do who is of age. Please, please, please donate your organs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Michigan is, for some reason, a really long wait time to get a kidney. I talked about that with Eric Medemar and with Chris, Nick, and Wendy. It's like 5-6 years, 5-7 years. Most states, it's like 2. I don't know what's going on there. All right. Thank you, Gift of Life Michigan. Blue Frost IT is the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. If you work for the woman or for the man, and you know that the boss is looking to upgrade the tech, pull them aside and say, there's a company that we should tell what we need to, called Blue Frost IT, on a free complimentary consultation. Take you 30 minutes. They're going to price out everything we need, the appropriate equipment for what we do to make our business run, boss. Okay? Small or medium-sized business. That way, you don't just rush to the store and just buy stuff off the shelf sight unseen. You don't know what you're buying. I don't know what megahertz and gigahertz and twigahertz and terabytes and fucking processing is. I have no idea. You don't either. So don't just go to Amazon and buy some fucking thing that you think is great and because you read a Google review. Okay? Get a complimentary consultation about all the stuff you're going to need. Monitors, printers, routers, all that stuff. Keyboards, mice, mouse, all that stuff. Everything you need. Blue Frost IT. Call or text 616-200-8550. 616-200-8550. BlueFrostIT.com. There's gun school coming up with Prince Arming. The last Saturday in March is when the next gun class takes place. It's a Saturday, starts at 8 in the morning, and this is great. All you have to do is click on the Prince Arming logo at ericzaneshow.com. Once you get to the page, click More and then Events. Okay? Take a look at this. This is how this works. Okay, you're on the Prince Arming Facebook page. You click More and then Events. Did I say last Saturday? I'm lying. It's this Saturday. 8 a.m., CPL CCW class in Allendale, Michigan. You can be like all these guys. Where's that picture of Lucas? Usually there's a picture here of Luke Witkowski, who just got traded yesterday from the Red Wings. He's from Holland, Michigan. He carries his pistol thanks to Prince Arming. Where's that picture of Luke? I don't know. I guess it's not here. Well, where is it? Got a big, gnarly beard. Here he is. This is Luke Witkowski. He just got traded to the St. Louis Blues. He's wearing his USA hockey gear. He's got his pistol license thanks to Prince Arming. If it's good enough for Luke Witkowski, it's good enough for you, too. Seriously, though, he got traded yesterday. I was really bummed out about that. All right. If you want more information about gun school, and if you can't make this class, you can go to the next one. He does them once or twice a month. 616-204-1705. Asshole of the day. Asshole of the day. If you have any suggestions, my eyes are burning from toxic air. The resurrection of the NFK's feet. Name problems at the YMCA. A refund from the governor. I'm demanding you give yours back if you do not support her. I'm also opening up the bidding. I will take $2,001 from any candidate who wants to beat Whitmer, and then I will endorse you. That includes Donna Let's Go Brandenburg. Dear Meathead is Wednesday. A Tesla took an awesome jump nipple suck teacher, brain surgery OnlyFans, the Switchblade. I introduced you to that. Told you all about that. Russia's fake news campaign, the China plane crash, and whatever else we talked about. Who is your asshole of the day? Could it be the school board that said the lady has to... No, I don't know about that. The lady who's offended that the teacher was sucking the nipple? I don't know. I don't know if I have an asshole of the day. I guess the guy who fucking jumped the Tesla, but I kind of love that guy. So, all right, kind of weak. Tesla jumper. Everybody's got a problem with that. I support that type of behavior. That was a good move. Nobody died. Everyone's like, someone could have died. Yeah, nobody died. No one died. Some Tesla got destroyed. No big deal. That's why baby Jesus made insurance. All right. Folks, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. The Patreon bonus podcast a little later on. Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia happens at 11 today.
Hi, Eric. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric. Thank you to Saul for his voice work. Classic voice work. All right. Until next time, thank you. Bye-bye.